Hello students, welcome to another session of accounting. So in this session we are going to learn about certain basic accounting terms because without basic understanding basic accounting terms we will not be in a position to understand accounting properly. So let's begin with our first basic term, that is business transaction. If I replace the word transaction with deal, you can understand this term very easily. Business deal. Because very often we come across with this word business deal. So, business transaction can be defined as an economic event that brings about a change in the financial position of the enterprise. Clear? So, whenever there is a financial transaction or an economic event, it will initiate the process of recording in the books of account. Okay? Clear? So, I quote certain example. For example, purchases of goods, sales of goods, payment to debtor, receiving of payment from the debtors, payment to debtors. Okay? So, these are all financial events and hence will be recorded in the books of account. Clear? Very simple. So, let me write. Business transaction means it can be taken as a deal. Okay? So, we can define business transaction as economic events that bring about a change in financial position of an enterprise. And you know what the enterprise is? Enterprise is a business entity. Okay? So, we move on to second, which is account. Account is a set of record of all transactions pertaining to a particular head of account, like purchases account, sales account, debtors account, or a particular head like like assets or liabilities. Clear? And it includes both cash transaction and as well as credit transaction. Clear? So we can write account means record of transactions under a particular head of account or head, and it includes both cash and credit transactions. Clear? Now we move on to third, capital. Capital is the sum of money invested by the proprietor in the business, and in case of partnership it will be the total money invested by all the partners in the business. It will be the capital of the partnership firm, and in case of company it will be contributed by so many persons, and each person is called shareholder because he or she holds a share in the capital of the company. Clear? Very simple. And we all know without capital there will not be any business. To start a business you need to have capital. And it depends on the kind of business, whether you will have a small capital or large capital. Clear? So Let us conclude. Money in cash or in asset form invested in a business. Clear? Now we move on to fourth basic term, that is drawings. Drawings in accounts means any amount withdrawn by the proprietor or owner of the business for personal use. It is termed as drawings. It also includes the goods withdrawn from the business for personal use. So, we can say amount, whether in cash or goods withdrawn for personal use from the business. Okay, here important thing is personal use. If the owner of the business due to any reason takes out the money from the business for personal use, or he wants to use goods for his personal use, then it will be drawings. Okay, very easy, simple. Clear? Then we take up another term, that is liabilities. Liabilities means amount payable by the business is the liability. That means business owes something to other parties where the business has to repay. Clear? So we can write amount owed by the business. Anything payable by the business is the liability of the business. Clear? Very simple. Now, it can be classified as current liability, and non-current. Current liabilities are those liabilities which are to be repaid within 12 months from the end of the accounting period. Clear? So, we can write payable within 12 months from the end of accounting year. Examples are creditors, bills payable, outstanding expenses. These are the examples. Clear? These you cannot hold for a long period. Sooner or later, these have to be repaid. Generally, within a month's time, these have to be repaid. Okay? It may take some time. But as far as creditors and outstanding expenses are concerned, these are to be repaid as soon as possible. You cannot hold them for a long period. Clear? Now we move on to current liability. Non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities are those liabilities which are not current liabilities. That means these liabilities require more time to repay. Clear? For example, bank loan, other long-term loans, or your debentures. These are the liabilities that have been incurred for a long time. Clear? So, which are not current. Example you can say bank loan, debentures, okay. Debentures are these you will come across while studying company accounts, okay. Clear? Sixth is assets. Assets, very simple. Assets are the properties owned by the business, or you can say anything which has got some value and is owned by the business. Our business is the owner of these properties. Clear? All the properties that are owned by the business is assets. So we can say properties owned by business. They are termed as assets. Clear? Now assets can be classified as current assets, current assets are those assets which can be easily converted into cash within a year's time. Okay? For example, debtors, stock, bills receivable, and the most current assets is your cash and bank balance. These are the most liquid assets. Okay? And these are also included in current assets. So, let me remind, current assets are those assets which can be converted into cash easily within a year's time. Okay? And it also includes prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses are those expenses which have been paid in advance. Okay. But, and these, though frankly speaking, these are not assets, but they are taken into asset in the form of current assets because the work has not been done and you have paid the advance. And in that way, it is your debtor. Clear? And second is non-current assets. Okay. Non-current assets are those assets which are held by the business entity not for the purpose of reselling them. These are the assets which help the business entity to enhance their earning capacity. Okay, these are not meant for resale. These have to be kept by the business for longer use and to enhance their earning capacity. Clear? These non-current assets can further be classified as fixed assets, fixed assets are those assets which are held by the business entity for a longer duration, like land and building, equipments, furniture. Okay, so these are your fixed assets. These assets will help you in enhancing your earning capacity, increasing your earning capacity. Clear? Now, fixed assets can be classified as tangible assets and intangible assets. Let's take up tangible first. Tangible assets. Tangible assets are those assets which have a physical existence. That is, they can be seen and touched. Okay? Like your like land and building, equipments, computer, furniture. These all are your tangible assets. And other classification is intangible. Intangible assets are those assets which do not have any physical existence. They cannot be seen and touched, like the software of your company, software owned by the company, or your patents, trademarks, etc. These cannot be seen and touched, but they are your assets. So they are termed as intangible because they cannot be seen and touched. Clear? Okay. Now we move on to third part. And third part of classification of assets is fictitious assets. Fictitious assets are those assets which are in fact not an asset. These are your long-term expenses, losses which have been carried forward. That means these are the expenses which have not been totally written off within a year. They are written off for over a period of 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So the unwritten off part of the expense is your fictitious assets. Okay? Fictitious means doubtful, fake type. So that's why this has been termed as fictitious. Okay? Example are loss on issue of debentures, deferred revenue expenditure. These are quite few examples of fictitious assets. Okay, dear students, let us move on further. Now, next term is receipts. Remember, while pronouncing this word, P is silent. Receipt. Okay. So now let us understand what the receipt is. Any amount that has been realized or realizable by selling assets, your goods or services. So it will be termed as receipts. Okay? You may be in a business. If you sell your goods, if whether or not amount is received, it will be termed as receipts. Clear? Similarly, any asset has gone out of use. Now you want to sell it, and when you sell it, the amount received or receivable, that will be termed as receipts. Clear? So we can write amount received or receivable by selling goods or services or assets. Okay? Here? And receipts were further classified as revenue receipts, revenue receipts are those receipts which are realized or realizable by selling your goods or services which you render. It also includes the sale of investment like your fixed deposits. Okay? And revenue receipts are always shown on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Clear? So we can say these are receipts in ordinary course of business. Okay? And second is your capital receipts. All those receipts which are not revenue in nature, they are termed as capital receipts. Take for example, when you are not realizable by selling your assets, these will be termed as capital receipts. Okay? These doesn't happen in the normal course of business. That is not your ordinary course of your business. Clear? So, receipts not revenue in nature, not revenue in nature. Okay? Your asset may be land and building, your furniture. So, amount which you realize or which is realizable by selling your assets. Clear? Now let me tell you one thing. I am giving one example. If your business is to deal in machineries, when you sell your machineries, the proceed received after selling machineries will be the revenue receipts in this case. But when your business is different and you sell your machinery which was your asset, so by selling this machinery, the amount that you are going to realize will be your capital receipt. So it will depend on the nature of the business whether a particular receipt is a revenue receipt or capital receipt. Clear? Now let's move on further. So now we take up expenditure. The amount that a business spends on acquiring assets, goods or services, it will be termed as expenditure. Even if the amount has not been paid, it will be your liability and will be a part of expenditure. Clear? Now we can say amount spent on acquiring goods, services and assets. Even if or liability incurred on above. Okay? If you paid, then also it will be an expenditure. Or if you promise to pay in future, that means you incur liability, then also it will be an expenditure if the amount has been spent on buying goods, services or assets. Clear? And expenditure can be classified in three parts. First is capital expenditure. Expenditure means the amount that has been spent on buying assets for the business or to enhance the earning capacity of the business. It will be termed as capital expenditure. Now let us take one example. Suppose you are running a business in which machinery is used. Now with the increased demand, you have to buy more machineries. So when you spend money on the machineries to buy further machineries, it will be your capital expenditure. Clear? Similarly, even if you are using the old machineries, but you want to use the latest technology, for that purpose you need to upgrade your machineries. So whenever with the new technology, you will be able to produce more at a minimum cost. So that expenditure will also be termed as capital expenditure. Clear? And capital expenditures are shown in balance sheet. Okay? Clear? So we can say capital expenditure, it is spent on assets or to enhance earning capacity. Okay. Now we take up second part, that is revenue expenditure. The expenditure which has been incurred and the benefit of which is consumed within the accounting period, that is termed as revenue expenditure. For example, cost of goods sold, payment of rent, payment of salaries, payment of interest, all such expenses are termed as revenue expenditure, and these are shown either on the debit side of the trading account or on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Clear? Weekend expenditure means expenditure benefits of which are likely to be consumed within a year. Okay? So revenue expenditure are those expenditures the benefit or which are likely to be consumed within a year or within the same accounting period. Okay? Now we move on to third, deferred revenue expenditure. Now if we see, it is combination of three words: deferred, revenue and expenditure. Revenue expenditure, I have just told you, deferred, delayed. Deferred revenue expenditures are those expenditures, those sort of revenue expenditure, the benefits of which are likely to accrue for more than 1 year. Since revenue expenditures are those expenditures, the benefits of which are likely to be consumed or accrued within a year. But here, in the deferred revenue expenditure, you are going to get benefits for more than a year, but they are revenue in nature. The best example is your heavy advertisement expenditure. When you incur heavy expenditure on advertisement campaigning, it becomes your revenue expenditure, deferred revenue expenditure, because you are not going to get benefit of this heavy expenditure on advertisement within the same accounting period, but it will give you benefit for over a period of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or it may be 5 years also. So these are the expenses shown, unwritten of part shown in balance sheet, and the part of the the part of the benefit that has been consumed within the year will be shown on debit side of the profit and loss account. Clear? So, revenue expenditure, sorry. Revenue expenditures, benefits of which are likely to accrue for more than 1 year. Clear? This is deferred revenue expenditure. If anything is not clear to you, you can ask me in comment. Okay? Now let's move on to next. Now next is our expense. Expense, it is the cost that you incur to generate revenue. That means any expense, any payment paid or payable in order to generate revenue is expense. For example, payment of salaries, payment of wages, payment of rent, payment of electricity charges, like that. Okay? It also includes expense that has to be written off. For example, there is a bad debts during the year that has been reported. So when you write off this bad debt, it will be your expense. Clear? Cost of goods sold will also be your expense. Clear? Got it? So we can say cost incurred to generate revenue. Clear? It can be divided into two parts. First is prepaid expenses. Prepaid, that means any expense that has been paid in advance. You have, though you have not incurred the expenses, but you have paid for it before it will become due. So such expenses are known as prepaid expenses. The best example of prepaid expense is your insurance. All sorts of insurance premiums are paid in advance. Take for example, today is 1st October 2021 and you have taken a policy for your business, fire insurance policy. Take, say for example. So it will be for up to a period of 30th September 2022. General insurance and health insurance policy are generally for a period of 1 year. So this will be the year. But we are preparing accounts on 31/3/22. So there will be 6 months. October, since it is 1st of October, November, December, January, February, March. So there will be 6 months till 31st. And in all there will be 12 months. So half of the insurance paid will be your expense and half of the second part, that is from 1/4/22 to 30th September, this will be your prepaid. This will be your prepaid expense. Clear? That is from 1/10/2021 to this will be shown in profit and loss account on the debit side. Clear? And this will be shown as asset, current assets in your balance sheet. Got it? If we are able to understand the basic meaning of the words, half of the problem will be solved. Clear? This is prepaid expenses. Clear? Now let me move on to second part. Second is outstanding expenses. Outstanding means payable. These are the expenses which should have been paid, the benefits of which has been consumed, but the payment has not been made yet. So all these expenses will be your outstanding expenses. Okay? Take for example, today is 31st March. 31st March 2022. By the end of the day, we should have paid the salaries to our all the employees, so that there will not be any due. But due to any reason, we could not pay. So all those salary which couldn't be paid today will be taken as outstanding expense, outstanding salaries. Clear? Same thing is applicable to rent also. You should have paid the rent to your landlord, but you haven't paid so far, and today is 31st March. So by the end of the day, it will remain outstanding. You are going to pay on 3rd, 4th, 5th or any other day in the coming month, that is in April 2022. So till the time the amount is not paid, it will remain outstanding. But today we are preparing our balance sheet, we are preparing our financial statements. So it would, as of now, it is our outstanding expense. Clear? Not yet paid. Expenses which have not been yet paid are termed as outstanding expenses as on the date of the last day of the preparation of our final accounts. Clear? So students, so far we have understood, we have learned 9 basic terms that are related to accountancy, accounting, which we are going to use very oftenly. So please go through these terms again and again, so that you have a better understanding and you do not face any sort of problem in the near future. Clear? So that's all for the day. Have a good day. Thank you.